All right. Alright, we are back. Hopefully the resolution is fixed, and I mean it looks so much better from what I can see. So yeah, that's good. My bitrate was too high and my bit encoding keyframes was wrong, so hopefully that's fixed now. Yeah, that should hopefully fix the problem. I'm going to do some finish off the shading and do some lighting. That should hopefully fix the problem. I'm going to do some finish off the shading and do some lighting. So I'm going to turn down my music a bit. Alright, let's do some finish up the shading. I guess the next thing is the hair. I'm pretty sure there's a few more I've got to do with the hand first, and then that is done. And a lot of it will make sense when I start putting in the bright textures. You can see here, like if I get rid of the light, it looks very bland. But as soon as you put the light in, it pops. So that's what we're going to do with this. Probably not going to do much with this. Probably just keep it very basic, because it's a lot of work to fiddly, very fiddly work. So I'll just keep it like this. I might make a few things here and there. Like I might make this. I'm gonna go back to the base colors. Might just make this stone. Just give it a bit of life, But yeah, might even no. Yeah, it just looks weird now. Yeah, I just shove it like this. Doesn't really make much sense because the other side is not the same, but that's life, right? Oh, excuse me. So, shading. And yeah, once this is done, that's pretty much the entire comic book done. There's a few things I got to do. But we are ahead of our schedule. By about a month. Oops, that's the wrong color. basic. Nope. And I'll probably just do a little cleanup eventually, just before I upload it to Webtoons. What we're doing, shadow, yeah. Is the wrong color. Yeah, it's not really, doesn't need to be perfect. It's just, it's my first comic book, so you know, it's trial and error with everything. You know, I didn't even know that most comic books converted to vertical slice these days, to be honest. And that will probably be another thing I would do. I might even convert the comic book into a vertical slice. I'll probably keep it the same way, like this kind of style, kind of traditional old manga style, I guess, comic book for episode 2 as well. But I think maybe after that, because we're going to dive into season 2, I will probably start going vertical slice and we'll see. Let's see how it goes. I mean, I really do want to transfer over because it's a lot more work and it will be a lot more pages and it might cause problems for the physical art copy, but I'll make that decision later on, I think. To be honest, I think digital comic books, the physical side of it, is slowly dying out. I could be wrong about this, so don't quote me on this, but I think a lot of it is going digital these days. So it might just be better to have that as the main kind of idea behind it all. It's just to keep it digital, right? And I think I'm just gonna have some incursions of light here. I don't know. I like to mess around with stuff like this and see what does and does not work. Okay, I think I might just have something like this. Yeah, that should do the trick. Right, now we just do the hair, and I think that would be the shading done. So the hair is this color. I'm just gonna make some, blend that eventually, and that should be kind of give the effect that it's coming through, because you don't have a completely blocky hair. Yeah. It make a lot more sense once it's been blended in. Actually, it's let's have not have that as that. Make a lot of sense when I shade it in. I think I just do it now, a little bit now. I don't want to put too much. Are we not got? That should be right. Let me do multiple layers as well. We just get our little brush here. Just make a little tiny, oops, things like this. different size brushes will do different size blends. Sometimes it's a good idea just to zoom out a bit. I suppose in a normal kind of manga, you wouldn't really do high detail like this because you mostly have the one thing, if you had infinite time, I bet artists all over the world will just spend hours on it. But when it comes to something like a comic book, you know, and there's high demand for that comic book, you really are kind of, you know, time gated because well, sadly people lose interest quite quickly, and you know, it also has the reverse effect as well. You know, sometimes people will forget about your comic book or whatever, and then they find it and it's like got a lot more kind of kick to it, I guess, and then they are even more invested now. But yeah, it's you know, get it to the point where it's good to see and you're happy, most importantly, and make sure that you're happy because you're the one you're the artist, you know. Oops. Because if you're not happy with your own work, then you will essentially get burnt out pretty quickly. So it always has to come from a place in your heart where, you know, you're happy and say, this is good, so good enough. This is my skill level right now. And I'm a strong believer in not pushing yourself too much when doing art. You know, I used to do 7 hours of drawing every single day, and it completely ruined me because, not mentally, my mental was pretty strong when it comes to drawing, but physically, you know, like you start getting things like backache and neck ache, and you know, you really got to take care of your body these days, especially when you're doing art, because you're in the chair in a certain position for a long time. I'm just trying to flood this a little bit. I just don't want to get on the red too much. I've been thinking about doing group layers, but they are annoying and confusing. If you have too many layers, you are working inside a layer maze. You know? Right, so some stuff like this, I can really go down to downtown with this. I can already see that that was a bit too much. That's what the hell happened there? A bit too. It's already working. This is there. Maybe needed a smaller brush, just to encourage it a bit. There we go. There's that line that we want. Sometimes it's a good idea to have 2 windows set up like I got. Then you can kind of get the perspective a bit, you know. Oops. Just gonna make it a bit lighter down here. Yeah. And what I do is I just create little tiny lines here. Should give it a nice little break, because it is pretty strong at the top here. A bit too big. There we go. I mean, it's like you're gonna be like looking at it like this, but you know, all the little things do kind of make it worthwhile once it's fully done, and it's just a matter of time, how much detail you want to put into it and so on and so forth. You typically wouldn't go like this detail, but you know, what I like to do here is these bits here that come out, I like to start here with the darkness. One second. I need to change my legs. And then I just swoop down like this, but obviously have a general consensus of the sunlight. Right, and these little type curls are always dark. Yeah, these are always dark here. And then you can, like, here is where it's gonna, because it's every curve in like geometry has a lines, a beam, right? And if it's a curve, like this is a curve, but it's like a round, then the outburst needs to go around like this, right? But this is not really round, it's more of a it's a curve, not like a ball shape, so it's more of a line than anything. And then once you add all this, gives sorry, motorbike. Yeah, once you add all this, it looks very good. You can see here, if I get rid of my shading and lighten, everything is very bland. Everything is basic, and some people do comic books based on this style, right? They just, everything is bland, minimal shading. But if you add shading, then it's a bit more field of view, but it's something feels wrong because there is not, you've got shading, but you haven't got the opposite source, which is light. And then as soon as you add light, it kind of just gives the illusion of all 3 layers are one. And that's basically what it is. It's all just an illusion, really. Yeah. How much do you want to invest into it? How much of an illusion do you want to give this image? eventually your mind will just pick up on this stuff. Just gotta delete that. Yeah, but here I normally just do the sun ray, right? So, and then another good thing to illustrate is light can coexist with darkness. I mean, like here, I guess this is dark, this is light, and together it kind of makes stuff, you know, like darkness here but light here. You can see they do have a they can coexist. You know, there's a lot of people think that you can't really have the two coexist, but you can. It's just very rare, and it depends on, you know, stuff, right? Let's see, I might just have a little bit going here. I just have a little bit there, and I just have a little bit here. But yeah, this is I meant to be doing this one, but kind of messing around with this one now. But we'll just finish this up real quick. Might just, yeah, not worry about a lot about, to be honest. We'll see. It looks pretty good, I think. That's the thing, like, yeah, you do something, you're like, oh, this is good, and then you do something else, you're like, oh, this is amazing, and then you realize you gotta kind of like match it on the other. If you've got £2 in one, you gotta kind of match it. I guess that's one benefit from vertical slice anime comic books, is that you're basically essentially doing one page at a time. So everything you see on here will be one cut. So this image here will be on one page for vertical slicing, and that way your eye is not comparing two scenes. It's only comparing what it sees. So I guess that is one benefit to it. Yeah, because the eye is your best friend and your worst enemy too when it comes to this drawing stuff, because your eye will criticize you all the time and trick you as well. Sometimes what people see that is bad is actually not bad at all, you know. But considering that there is a consumer, which is, you know, the general public that wants to view the thing, it's kind of better to cater towards them because they are your audience, right? think that's why so many video games fail these days, is because a lot of these developers want to build their game, which is fine, but at the same time, they build their game with ideology, like kind of like, you know, what they believe in life, or they try to put something like an agenda in there, and people just want to play a good game, you know. It's like that prod matter game. I mean, it's a really good game. I think it's about time we had a new IP, and you know, I don't really care much about the dad stuff. Yeah, because they're calling it a dad simulator, right? But there's another game, what's that game where you had a baby? Like you carrying the baby around. I've forgotten what that game is, but that's basically another dad simulator game. I guess it ain't really technically a new IP, to be honest. It's because that game came out first, but yeah. But yeah, so if I just left it like this now, it would be kind of, the eye would be like, oh shit, why did you do all this and leave this, you know? So you gotta kind of commit once you start, right? Let's have, see, this is like a problem here, right? So the dark patches go at the bottom and light goes at the top. So you kind of want to have consistency here. This is just my thing, right? But this is what I kind of like to do, is to have as much consistency as possible, which does help a lot. I just noticed that this is, what is this? What do you mean it's locked? It's not locked. Game. It's not. Oh. There we go. Pretty sure that's not it, but might be an artifact glitch. There's a lot of problems when it comes to this stuff. Actually, I think I know the workaround for this. So that space, then you put that here. Okay, I think there's like a workaround of getting this. Hold on, there we go. You probably never see it, to be honest, during the comic book, but maybe you would if it's vertical slice, because it's bigger, more detail. Sometimes when you put the colors in, you want to add them in again after shading. But yeah, it's just, again, it's your perspective. Whoops. That was my hand being incredibly lazy. I'm not really saying that this is how people should do it, but you just find your style, and yeah. This is mine. Probably not the best, probably not what people want, but it's how I do it, and that's what matters, I feel like, because it comes from the heart. Yeah, all the way up. Right, getting there. We just need a few more. I think we just have a little bit here. one there. Just pop one there. And just make it a bit more. And again, we just encourage it here. Alright, let's get the small little details in. The streaks, you know. Yeah, this is what I really enjoy most is painting, to be honest. That's what I like the most out of art, comic book. It feels a bit more home to me, to be honest. They say always improve your weaknesses, but yeah, I'm pretty bad for doing that, to be honest. But still, let's have a little bit more depth here. And then we'll start doing the light values. It's a little bit too big, that brush. Oh well. Just do it again. Let's minimize it a bit more. There we go, that's better. Let's just do a few more up here. There we go. And yes, a lot more depth. Anyway, now we go back to doing what we originally was doing. So yeah, let me just save this. What time is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to get some food going soon. I'm just gonna add a few here. I don't want to add too much. Right, so darker on the front. Okay. I'm probably gonna order food or something, I'm not too sure. saw a horrible video and it almost put me off like ordering food. This guy got a McDonald's and he found a human's tooth inside it. Like a human's tooth. Not like an animal's tooth, you know, in the processing. A human tooth, man. That's crazy. Like either someone was wrapping his McDonald's and the guy's tooth came out and he didn't even notice, or there's like someone's chopping someone up and using them as burgers, which I kind of would believe, because in the UK we had the horse scam, which was there was a shortage, I think it's John and Brexit, short of like meat, so people started using horse meat and selling it. I think it actually the meat came from Russia, but I'm not too sure. You know how propaganda is, people like blaming each other. But yeah, that almost put me off wanting to order food. Like, it makes you wonder. It's like, what the hell is going on? You know? It's like, can I get a Big Mac with lettuce, onions and tomato without human teeth? Like, come on, bruh. Is that what we have to do now? Yeah, it's wild. Alright. We are getting there. Slow but steady wins the race. And I only do this much detail for the end panel. I have thought about making the entire book that is on Webtoons, like doing it with color and stuff, but if I'm gonna do it with color, it will probably look like this. It will look like this, be very bland, because the first episode, which consists of 30 pages, by the time I've put index and that, it might be 32 and some other stuff in there. I might put like a social media link at the back or something, I don't know, but yeah. But it's generally 30 pages of just artwork. So if I was doing that with all this detail, it would take so much time. Like, it would take, it's taking me 4.5 months to do the first episode, and I kind of thought that it might take me about 5 to 6, but it's actually been pretty good, and I've been sick as well, so ahead of my schedule. But you can't really just say, okay, we're 2 months ahead, let's put 2 months worth of artwork, because you need to, you know, prepare for the unexpected, right? So you never know what's life's gonna give you, to be honest. I can't wait to do the light, but yeah, the last panel is always like done in, like, I guess you could say 7K, and that's kind of my signature, kind of doing the last panel in high detail. But yeah, it would I would probably end up doing the rest of the comic book in medium, sorry, with color, I mean, but just basic colors. Might look a bit flat, but that's alright. again, you're going to be zoomed out like this when reading it, so you're not going to see a lot of the detail, but again, it depends on what platform you're on, or even what even where you're looking at it. So if you're looking at it on phone, you might be able to zoom in. Actually, I tested this on phone. You can't zoom in on Webtoon with phone, but on PC, if you hold Control mouse wheel, you can actually zoom in your windows, which is like a shortcut key. So I guess it depends really. What I do fancy is a subway. I haven't had a subway in ages. I hadn't had a subway, I think, in like 4 months. I literally don't think I had a subway since I've started making this project on Webtoons. Okay, so a little bit here. There we go. And then this is very bland. So see the bit here too. Yes, we will have this very black here as well. It's like the crown is always kind of like dark here. I'll sort out the colours. This needs to change. There we go. What did I just do? I got rid of my shadow there. I suppose technically this is the cape. I don't know. That's fine. If it looks good, it looks good. That's what I'd say. Whoops. Some colors, when you're shading, you can get away with a bigger brush. But when it's like this, you do that, and then you can't really get away with it. So sometimes what I do is I just do stuff like that, but ideally we want to have a lower brush. Oh, I'm drawing on the base now. That's where I locked that. Slave to the layers. Right, I'm gonna order some food. I will be here, just muted. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Right, we're back. Just ordered myself some food. So that should come in 20 minutes. Yeah. 20 minutes. Hopefully. Right. So, what we're doing here. Yes. And I am a dumbass and did this on basic. Not to worry. Can fix this. There's one there too. I think I did a lot of that on the base there. Ugh. The solution would be just to redo that. Think about it. don't normally do this, but since I've done it on the wrong layer, instead of rubbing it out, I will create white paint. That should be the solution. There we go. Right, and I think we are good down here. Whoops. Give me 1 sec, I just need some water. Okay. So I think now we will start moving on to some light. Let there be light. So let's start with the gold. And I forgot to actually make that color. Maybe it was too light for the background. Yeah, it was. That's why I probably did it. So I just get the base color and play around with that. Should roughly be about here. Right, let's start having some fun. So, I'm guessing the light is kind of like here. It's not really the back here. It's not here because it's dark. It's more the back, middle. So let's do one light source here. And there would be, it'd be kind of one here, but it'd be in a V shape. And this will be called the brim. The brims are always catched like this. And there might be one just here, goes up a little bit. And I guess let's see what this looks like, but maybe a little one there. And that's kind of covering that, but generally should be something like one roughly here. And I feel like this should be like this. I might make this one come down a bit. So have it on the bend more. And that would be a spike here. Again, it will look weird until it's done. So this would be another spike here. This would be a bit of a curve. And since it's here and here, I kind of want it to match up or meet up with one another. If this is bending here, this should be kind of bending here, so it will be more like that, I guess, if anything. Which will probably make this more like this. And we just do this. Looks better. And then there will be a smaller version of that just here, like piercing out. And because it's the rim, that would take the light as well. And this curve here would take the light. Maybe there would be one here, just a small beam. And let's see, this would be taking the light a little bit. And then this, but I have a feeling, yeah, we need to go into the shadow layer and delete that. See, this is where I was talking about light can coexist with darkness, and this is the perfect example. It's because it's kind of point. It's not flat, it's kind of hard edge right here. There's a hard edge here. So maybe I could show you with this up. I can't. But yeah, it's basically like a triangle. So yeah, darkness, light. Let me just reinforce this dark. And then you see it when we get to the shading a bit. Just do this for now. So I'll keep an eye on my food. They're not even preparing it yet. Oh. Did I order too early? I did. Okay, so it's not coming until ages. But that's fine. I might get myself a sandwich. Oops. Right, that should be it. There should be a bit more light coming from here. So let me just clean this up. And just lock that, put that a bit of light here. And if lights come in here, then it should accept the coil here. But it should be more like a bowen light, kind of like this, because it's curving, right? There we go. And I think that is the main sources. I guess I could have one maybe here, but I don't want to flood it too much. Let's put one here. And okay, now we do the brace. So the brace would be more like here because it's centered here. Let's get rid of that. And the coil of this would be, oops. Why is that not accepting that? Do I put it on the base? That's interesting. Okay, for that problem, I will create another layer. Okay, that's not even working. That's so strange. There we go. So 2, 3. Yeah, I would have to do that. We can leave it, it's fine. I think it's going to be a big deal. I was going to have a light on this rim line here, but Don't think it's going to be a big deal. Oops, that's definitely a problem. There we go. Just having a look at that top one. So I feel like we will just have it like this. It's gotta kind of represent that. Let's tidy this one up a bit. Let's also have it leaning. And if I'm gonna have it leaning, I'll probably need it to be more like this. Let's see. That should be alright. Doesn't have to be perfect, but yeah. Just a little bit of a curve, I think. There we go. That's kind of where it was originally, but a bit spinner. I think. Right. Now we merge it all together. And this is where the magic. So this is like the opposite of what we were doing with the hair. So the hair was small brush, but this one requires a big brush. You want to get the first layer out, then you want to redraw it again, and then you just keep doing this. And then we add a massive white hue in the middle. So we get pure white, and then we just add it right here. And then we kind of push it out a little bit, just a little bit. Put some straights on it like this. And when you stand back, that should look like a kind of like a glow goldy effect up here. And you do that to everything and it kind of merges in. Normally when you do this, you want to play with the shadows as well, so they can converge. But you basically need to do all of this first, and then you can do that last. But yeah. Hey, they're preparing my food, finally. So mine might be the first order. Let's go. Oh yeah, we did forget to do this. Well, we'll do that in a minute. Actually, let's do it now before I forget. I am forgetting. Never end up doing it. So again, this should go with this should go with this, so I guess we're just going to go like that. And then we go for the white in a minute. There we go. It's looking pretty good. nice smack boots on the way. Let me just put some socks on real quick. Oops. I think he is outside. One second. Oh, yeah, he is. Cool. Oh. Right, I will be back. Excuse me. I get a lot of acid reflux when I eat, so I might be muting myself from time to time, but it should be alright. Excuse me. Right. And then just one right here. And then we just do one here. That should pretty much be it for the glowiness. We can work on that in a bit. Maybe just lower the opacity on this a bit. And let's work on the reds. I didn't put the light version of it. So, because it's middle and it's rounded, we would do kind of like a around like this. Sorry for the shouting outside. Probably probably a drug dealer. He can't get his own way or something. I don't know. The place I live in is a shithole. And then just smooth it out. Maybe expand it a little bit. There we go. Don't want to conflict too much with the darkness here. There she is. There we go. And she would just like pop. As she should do. It is the image. It's roughly there. Because again, we got the shine here. This is overall so kind of curved. So this would be here. And as we go down, you see that it matches here, here, here. And finally, here. So the sunlight is basically right here. And now we just put a, I think what I might do is put one here. This is not full white, but, and then I think I just push that out a little bit. And then we go full white. Repeat the same process. Smaller brush this time. Like that. And I'm not too sure if it's picking up on YouTube, but you can kind of see rings. If I zoom in, maybe it'll pick it up on YouTube. No, it's what kind of, you can start to see little rings forming, and that's basically what you want to do. You just want to keep it nice and circular, and yeah. So that gives that the illusion, and because it's not like metallic, it wouldn't have a sharp bloom, right? So let's just tidy this up a bit. And then I guess I just, there we go. And what you could do is again have another one here and repeat the same process. Because it's smaller, maybe have a smaller brush. To be honest, it's a little bit intrusive. I'll close it in a bit. There we go. And then you could put maybe one more, but this one is tiny. Look at that. Beautiful. Magnifique. Magnifique. Yeah, so a little bit of lighting always brings out something, you know. And for this one, it will be the same principle, but it's slightly different because it's it's overall again, but you wouldn't really do this with here. You would do it more, not like this, but more like this with a slight curve. I'll show you. You want it nice and straight, and then just curve these edges off. This is what I do at least. Let's make the brush a bit bigger. I think I might just cut a bit of this off, to be honest. Bigger brush, bigger the smear. It's all just about kind of playing with it until you get the right. Okay, there's something wrong going on here. let's go there. Now it's working. So for a brief second there, you probably saw it. It's just basically like this, but just put one more line in. Yeah, I didn't quite. And then a small brush. There she is. There we go. And that, yeah, that should make it look kind of glowy. And you can spread it out just a bit. It's not 100%. Let me see if I can fix this a bit. Let's try that. There we are. Let's do a little bit of a shine on the chest because it's kind of the light is centered. So roughly here, and we can actually do the same as the shoulder here. So let's get our pink hue. So it's not really as red, but it's more of a pinky red. It's what you want to go. You want to go pure white. Don't go pure white because you end up having just the main glow. That's the biggest problem, you know. And then just push it out. And it's all about getting it in the right area as well. Extending and making the brush smaller helps as well. You just want to make this look like a nice merge cloud. And I think that maybe this could maybe go down a bit. Maybe a little bit, but I think it's okay as it is. Right, let's just even it out. And now we get the white, and we want to increase the brush here. Let's say a 15 will do. And just keep pushing it out. And then blend these in, and then you want to go full white. That's really full white, but now this one you want to do a small brush, because these edges, you only want these edges to be blended. That's a bit too bright, that one. Oops. There we are. And you can pretty much do this with most metallic objects. or semi-metallic objects. When it comes to like leather, that's you want a flatter version. I guess this is more kind of a flatter version. So leather's kind of difficult to do. I'll show you now. So let's create a shimmy here. Same kind of concept, I guess, but it's real flat. It doesn't have much of a glow, so you wouldn't really do the pure white. You'll just do the other white. Too much of this is going to make it look a bit sickly, so yeah, don't do too much of it. Keep it under control. But you want to correspond to everything, so this is going to be another one, and this is going to be another one here. And these will probably stretch out quite a bit, to be honest, so you can push these out quite a lot. And yeah, see, you can just see it's more like, it feels more like it's leather. And you can go a step even further than this and add black to this, and I'll show you this in a minute. Let me just, yeah, I can show you this now. So let's go back onto a shadow and add pure black. And you only want like 4 or 3, depending on your canvas size. And you just create these lines like this. But do not draw them on the shine, only draw it here. And a better one is to kind of like do a line, and then have a line go in front of the line, have a line go back, front, so it's kind of like a cross hatching. Whoops. And then just do that here. Always correspond to the direction it's curving in, so if it's curving this way, draw it that way. And then you just get your smudge tool again, and you just do the same thing basically. And this just gives a little bit of contrast to the image. Just a little bit of a kind of a dirty, leathery texture. Right, this is kind of flat, so I might do a bit here too, and it should maybe pop out a bit more. But since it's going down, we'll just do this. You can just add texture to it if you want. You don't have to do it in a specific way, but it kind of just makes it more feel alive. Like the stomach, yeah, and you can even go like, you can even go quite crazy here. As long as it's on a different layer. Just this curve here. Get a small brush here. small little details, but your eyes do pick up on it. You can see it's now more of a, it's got a bit more depth to it, and you can just keep doing this basically. Yeah, I'll just do a few more here. I might increase the, that's fine. There you go. Just looks a bit more like worn. And you can do this to everything basically. Just stay away from the light areas because that is the Trojan horse basically. Will really fuck it up. It just takes time basically. But back onto the lights because we don't want to get too distracted. So I think that is pretty much done with the armor, the red armor. There's not much red on his armor, which is good because red sticks out quite a bit. So I think we move on to the skin now, and we start doing. So this is going to be again light, but this is dominant here. So this is dominant here, and this is basically where the most of the light's going to be. So you just go here, and then what I like to do is just, whoops, one brush. Curve in like this. Might be thinking like, what the fuck, man, that's so much, but don't stress, it's fine. Do not stress. You can see straight away that it's kind of taken that. If it's too overpowering, just push it back a bit. Right. And you want to do this with everything that sticks out. That's why you have shadow one side and light the other side. So this is going to be light. This will be light as well. This one is wrong, but it's okay. I'm going to counter it with this. Kind of like shove on here. And there's a bit here. There we go. So the skin, you don't get much of a shine. It's like leather. You say there's no hard shines on skin unless you're sweating a lot, but he ain't, so so you want to have a nice blend, and there's just a little bit here that'll probably be sticking up. And adding all these little textures really does make the picture just pop out, and you know. So now you see I got a nice textured arm already, and that was quite simple. And the same goes with like things like this, you know. Just get on that shadow and get rid of that shadow real quick. Okay, and this is like dominant here, so this would be kind of more, it's like sticking out, right? So there would be like a source of light here. Again, skin, so you want to have it blend in as much. And I guess we'll have, this will be crunched up, so this will be here, and maybe a little bit here. There we go. And I think we're almost there. And we could just say that this bit right here. There we go. Lovely. And let's run it down to its middle finger. We can actually make all of that shine. And we can just, yeah, we can just do a bit of this. Lovely. I think I will actually have it like that. Now that's pretty much it. There's just a few things on my face I want to do in terms of shininess, so maybe a bit of light here. Nothing too crazy here. Alright, so the nose, we pick up the light, have it all go all the way down. Bit on the lip, a bit on the chin. I don't know why his chin is pretty big here, but that's gonna haunt me now. Seeing that. Oh well. And I guess we would have just a little bit here, right? Just gotta make it a bit more. Just, yeah, cheekbone will go like this. Okay, but we gotta make it so this is very important. Do not make it so obvious that there's a glow here, but you want to be so subtle because otherwise it'll stick out. So spread it, then control it. And the same with the chin. You don't want to put too much attention on it. That's a bit too much. A good thing to do is sometimes you want to zoom out and do this. That's fine. Okay. And I think we just do a little tiny bit of shine here. Just a little tiny bit here. There we go. Magnific, magnific. Right, we'll do the trousers now, which I don't think I got in there. I think, oh wait, we did. This is the darker version of it. Let's do the light version, and then we just do do the same. So I kind of wanted a streak coming down here, but this is virtually a non-shine fabric, so you want to have this very minimal. So maybe this is a bit too bright, but we'll see. Just do a bit here. It's little tiny sneaky bits of light. Ever so sneaky. Not too much. Just enough to kind of, you know, pop the image a bit. There we go. Alright, we're getting there. We're almost done. Now we just do the cape. I'm not going to do much on the cape because the simple fact is that there's not much light, I don't think. At least I don't feel like there's much light. I might just do one here and call that a day. Let's see. Not the stream, but the image of light in this area. And yeah, I think that might just be it. I might just put a few streaks here and lighten it up a bit. It's a bit too powerful, this. There we go. And now the hair. So I've got a light source. I'm going to do too much here because it is already pretty light, but it would be a kind of like a pure white-ish. And one thing that we will do is we will do the kind of like what you call these, the manhwa type style kind of line thing. I don't know what you call this, but yeah. Small brush here. I'm gonna just put just a few lines of white. I don't want to do too much of that because it can create conflict. But I think after this, we are almost there, to be honest. I always find it a bit funny how everything is a challenge until you keep on moving forward slowly and you never give up. And before you know it, you've done the thing that you thought that was impossible. And if you have this kind of mindset, or most things in life, you will always get somewhere in life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just gotta cut these off. Is this on the... Oh, right, you're doing it on the wrong thing. Windows. What's going on here? Oh, I know why. There is that, I think. That should do it. Yes. God damn it. Alright, that should be it. And that's pretty much it. So this will be up on Webtoons. If anybody wants to see this, I will share my social media links in the chat again. This has all my social media links, and you can go here and follow the project. And there are multiple things, like Ko-Fi is here. There is my Kick. Sometimes I stream on Kick. Just test and see what kind of platform is going to be good for me. Hopefully YouTube is, because the video side of it is on YouTube. But I'm not too worried if Twitch or Kick is performing better. I'll probably move over to there. Whatever is better viewership. I haven't tried Twitch in a long time. I don't really like Kick, if I'm going to be honest with you. It seems to be a very misogynistic, not misogynist, well, sexist, let's say that, platform. Yeah, just lately it's been pretty bad. But we'll test up, see what happens. But I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. But yeah, if you're interested in the comic book, it's on Webtoons. You can click the link there. It's also on Ko-Fi. We're going to be putting it on different platforms. Can't put it on Tapas because their terms of service doesn't allow any kind of like help with AI or anything like that. So they're very AI against. So yeah, and yeah, all the characters are created by hand, but just what's it? They're done by resketched by AI, because drawing all this would take a year just for one comic book, and I'm trying to get at least 1 to 1.5 comic books done every single year. But again, like and subscribe, and give me a follow if you feel like this video has been helpful to you in any ways, if it's given you inspiration, and just leave a comment down below. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'll probably be streaming in a couple of days. And since this is done, we're now going to be moving over to more lore around the YouTube side, and then we give that a few more weeks, and we'll see how it goes, and then we get moving on to episode 2. Episode 2 is going to have a lot more fighting, a lot more action. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.